In a quiet corner of Earth's orbital academy, a young technician named Elion stared at the stars through a wide glass dome. He had always loved space. The stars felt like old friends, constant, glowing, and far away. But now, one star reminded him of someone he missed deeply. That star was in the direction of Siren 5, a colony planet where his best friend Ayla had moved 6 years ago. They had trained together since childhood. Both had dreams of helping Earth reach the stars, not with warships, but with compassion. They believed in the quiet strength of humanity, the strength that didn't need to raise its voice to be heard. But after the Concord decided to isolate Earth from diplomatic missions, Ayla had accepted a post on Siren 5, far beyond regular communication range. Elion hadn't heard from her since. At first he thought she was busy, then he worried. He sent messages, but nothing returned. The silence made the distance feel even colder. Everyone said it was normal. The Concord had slowly cut off Earth's signals. But for Elion, it wasn't just a political decision. It was a wall between two hearts that once worked in harmony. Now, he sat alone at the viewing dome, holding an old photo. Two kids smiling in their dusty uniforms, standing next to a growing garden on the Martian research outpost. Ayla had loved planting things. Even stars grow, El, she once said. We just have to believe they will. He missed her laugh, her calm voice. The way she reminded him that humanity didn't need to fight to be remembered, it only needed to show kindness when no one expected it. Elion didn't feel angry. He felt forgotten. One evening, as he sat watching Earth's ships return from relief missions to the outer worlds, he saw something strange in the report logs, a faint signal, very weak, barely readable, coming from Siren 5 sector. Most analysts ignored it, assuming it was old static, but Elion's heart skipped a beat. He knew that frequency. It was the one he and Ella used during training simulations, their personal link. He ran to the lab, unlocked the deep wave translator, and spent hours cleaning the signal. Finally, through static and distortion, he heard a voice. If you get this, I still believe in what we dreamed. I hope Earth hasn't stopped caring. I haven't. It was her, Ayla's voice, faint but warm, like a breeze returning after a long winter. Elion felt his throat tighten. She wasn't gone. The wall between them had been built by politics, not by hearts. And now, just a tiny crack had let light through. He wanted to reply. He didn't know how, but he knew he had to try. The next morning, Elion went to the Academy's director. I want to volunteer for the next relief ship to the outer zones, he said. You know it's risky, the director warned. The Concord may not approve. We don't have diplomatic protection. I'm not going as a diplomat, Elion replied. I'm going as a friend. Word spread quickly. A young technician from Earth was requesting passage to reconnect with a colony that had been silent for years. Some thought it foolish, but others, especially those from smaller fringe worlds, saw it differently. They remembered the warning, never provoke Earth. Not because of their strength in battle, but because of their strength in loyalty. Elion's quiet decision sparked interest. Other volunteers joined, not soldiers, but engineers, teachers, and healers, all willing to bring help to forgotten worlds. By the time Elion's ship launched, it wasn't just a mission. It was a message. The galaxy had tried to silence Earth, but Earth chose to respond with hope. As the stars stretched across the view screen, Elion stood at the front of the cabin, holding the same photo of him and Ayla. He didn't know what he would find on Siren 5. Maybe she had left. Maybe she had changed. But he believed that hope was worth chasing, even across the stars. And if Ayla was still out there waiting, then he would find her. Not to change the past, but to start something new together. Humanity had been quiet for too long. It was time the universe remembered who they truly were. They weren't conquerors. They were connectors. And they never gave up on the ones they cared about. Asterisk, in the city of New Leora, on the planet Siren 5, Ayla sat near a garden she had planted years ago. The air was dry but gentle, and a soft wind moved through the tall silver grass. Flowers from Earth and native siren plants bloomed together, just as she had hoped. But as beautiful as it was, She felt a heaviness inside, a distance that the stars could not measure. She missed Elian. When she first moved to Cyron 5, she was full of energy and purpose. The people here needed help, and she believed Earth could show them that kindness still existed in the galaxy. She had come as part of a mission, not official, but personal. She wanted to prove that humans could be trusted, but communication had slowly broken. The Concord placed strict rules on who could speak to Earth and who could not. Most channels were monitored. Her messages to Elian had stopped sending. She kept trying, even when no reply came. She had almost given up. Almost a while still remembered how Elian used to talk about building bridges not with stone or steel, but with trust. Single kind act can echo through the stars, he once said. That's our power. That was humanity's quiet strength. They didn't have to shout to be heard. Their actions would speak. But now she wondered, had Earth changed? Did Elian still believe? She looked at the old Cums unit she had hidden in a small shed. Behind her garden, it was dusty and slow, but she used it once every month to send one simple message. I haven't stopped believing. Even if Elian never heard it, she hoped the universe did. One day, she was planting new seeds. A young siren girl named Vera ran up to her, holding a small data pad. Ayla, a human ship just landed at the old trade station. Ala stood, up so quickly that her hands trembled. A human ship? From Earth? Yes, Vera smiled. They say it's a volunteer crew. No diplomats, just helpers. Ala's heart began to race. She didn't wait. She ran to the edge of the village, where a narrow path led toward the trade station. Her feet moved fast, but her mind was slower, filled with memories and questions. Could it be Elian? When she arrived, the crew was already unloading supplies. Medicine, water purifiers, solar repair tools. There were a dozen humans, each busy, each kind. Ala walked slowly, searching. Then she saw him. Elian turned toward her, holding a small box of soil samples. For a moment, he didn't move. Then, slowly, he smiled. Ayla walked forward, her steps unsure. You got my message? He nodded. I think I always did. Even when I didn't hear it, they didn't hug. They didn't cry. They just stood. In front of each other, eyes filled with quiet emotion. The silence between them wasn't empty anymore. It was full of meaning. Elian looked around. This place, it feels like you. Ala smiled. I tried to plant what we dreamed of. I'm sorry it took me this long, he said. I'm here now. She nodded. That's enough. As the sun set, they sat in the garden she had built. Vera and other children played nearby. The other crew members joined them, sharing stories of other worlds where Earth's help had started to change lives. One siren elder sat beside Elian and said, We always thought Earth would come with ships of war, but you came with hands that heal. Why? Elian answered gently, Because we remember what it was like to be alone. And we remember how it felt when someone reached out even once. That's what makes us human. The elder nodded slowly. Then the warning was right. Warning? Ala asked. That long ago, the stars whispered, Never provoke humanity. We thought it meant you were dangerous. But now I see. It meant, never push away the ones who care the most, because they will never stop trying. As the stars rose, Ayla and Elian looked up at the sky. It no longer felt distant. The silence that once separated them had become the thing that brought them back together. And through them, Earth spoke once more. Not with weapons, not with threats, but with the kind of hope that only humanity could offer. On the small desert planet of Durrani, a teenage boy named Yalan worked under the twin suns. His hands were dusty from fixing solar panels, and his clothes were worn. The heat was strong, but Yolan didn't complain. He worked hard every day too. Help his village. But lately, something inside him felt heavy. He missed his older sister, Lena. She had left Durrani 3 years ago to study with a human science team that helped small colonies. Yalan was proud of her. She always wanted to learn and help others. She believed in Earth, even when others on Durrani did, and used to hear from her once a month. She would send short messages, little stories, a joke, or sometimes just, "I miss you." But over time, her messages stopped. No reason, no warning, just silence. He didn't know if she'd forgotten him or if something had happened. Every night, Yalan would sit on the roof of his family's home and look at the stars. One star was brighter than the rest. Lena had told him that's where she was last seen, working near the fringe systems. He whispered to it sometimes, "Come back, Lena. I still remember. I still care." He didn't tell anyone how much it hurt. People on Durrani didn't talk about feelings much. The silence left a space in his heart he didn't know how to fill. One evening, a strange noise broke the quiet sky. A long, low hum, not thunder, not wind. He rushed outside with others from the village and looked up. A ship, smooth silver, and marked with the Earth symbol, a blue circle with a white tree in the middle. Jalen's heart jumped. The ship landed slowly in the open plain nearby. Children ran to watch. Elders whispered, "Is this the return of Earth's people?" Small teams stepped out. Humans gentle, smiling, carrying tools and medical kits. They weren't soldiers. They were helpers. One of them, a woman with short hair and a friendly voice, stepped forward. "We are from the Earth's Outreach Program. We're here to assist your village with clean water, repairs, and anything else you need." Jalen's father nodded slowly. "You are welcome. We remember your kindness." Long ago, Yulan couldn't take his eyes off the humans. They felt familiar, warm, like Lena. He waited until the visitors set up their station, then walked to them with a question burning in his chest. "Do you know someone named Lena?" She worked with human scientists near the outer colonies. The leader of the team paused. "Lena, that name is known. She worked on Project Greenlight, a very kind girl. She helped build farms in the wind regions." Jalen's voice trembled. "I haven't heard from her in a long time. I don't know where she is now." The woman's smile softened. "She sent messages for months, but then the Concord blocked the fringe networks. She didn't forget you." Yalan blinked fast, trying not to cry. She didn't," the woman said gently. "In fact, before we left, she asked if we ever reached Durrani. To give you this," she reached into her bag and pulled out a small data crystal. Yalan took it carefully. His hands shook as he ran home and plugged it into the old reader. Lena's face lit up the screen. Her voice came next, soft, loving. "Yalan, if you're watching this, it means the Earth team made it. I never stopped thinking about you. I'm sorry for the silence. I didn't choose it. I kept telling people. About Durrani. About how you fix things, even when they're broken. Just like you fixed my broken toy lamp that day when we were little." She smiled. "I still believe in you, in Earth, in us. Don't lose hope. I promise we'll see each other again." Lone wiped his eyes. The distance between them didn't feel so large anymore. She had remembered. She had believed. He ran back to the Earth team. "Can I help you? I know this village. I know how to fix things." The woman grinned. "We'd be honored to work with you." And just like that, Yalan felt connected again. To his sister, to Earth, and to something bigger than himself. A quiet message had traveled through space and brought two hearts close again. It was a reminder to Durrani and to every forgotten world that Earth hadn't gone silent. It had just been waiting for the right moment to speak, not with power, but with presence. Asterisk on the capital world of Thalos. Deep inside the tall silver buildings of the Galactic Council, a young diplomat named Kira walked slowly through the quiet halls. She held a small memory pendant in her hand, pressing it gently. Between her fingers, it belonged to her brother Jace. Jace had left Earth 3 years ago. He had accepted a post on a humanitarian mission to the edge of the galaxy, helping alien colonies rebuild after storms destroyed their energy systems. He had always believed in helping others, even when Earth was being pushed away by the rest of the galaxy at first. Kira had supported him. She was proud, But after he left, she didn't hear from him again. The Concorde had started blocking transmissions from Earth-connected missions. Officials said it was for safety. But it felt more like silence. Kira felt alone. Every day. She sat with other young diplomats in the Concorde's observation hall. They watched news from across the galaxy, debates, trade disputes, and political games. She listened, but her thoughts were always with Jace. Was he okay? Did he still believe in what they both once dreamed? That humanity could bring light, not fear? One morning, a debate broke out in the council chamber. Some members were angry. Earth is spreading influence again, one said.
They are.
Moving aid ships without permission? They are offering help to poor systems, another replied. They are healing, not harming. Chancellor Vedrix, a tall being with scales and narrow eyes, stood up. Earth was once warned to stay silent. Now they whisper across space. We must decide. Do we listen, or do we shut them out forever? Kira's heart pounded. She looked. Around the room, many looked unsure. She wanted to speak. She stood slowly. I know I am young, she said, her voice shaking. But I have something to share. The room grew quiet. My brother Jace was part of the Earth's outreach mission. He helped fix energy systems in broken colonies. He sent messages, but I never got them. I only know this. He believed Earth should lead with kindness, not control. She held up the pendant. This was his. Gave it to me before he left and said, Don't let the stars grow cold between us. I believe he's still out. They're still helping. Not because he's powerful, but because he's human, and that's what we do. We help, even when the galaxy turns away. Some council members looked away, so others watched with careful eyes. Chancellor Vedrix spoke again. Words are simple, but actions? A voice from the balcony interrupted. It was Counselor Myra of Thalos. She stood with pride. Then let me show you action. She pressed a small button. A screen lit up behind her. It showed a video, a Durrani village, newly repaired. Human engineers laughing with alien children. Water flowing from new systems. Fields growing with both Earth and alien crops. This was last week, Mira said. No war, no demands, just help. Kira felt tears behind her eyes. In that moment, something changed in the room. The silence wasn't heavy anymore. It was thoughtful. Later, Kira sat in the garden outside the council building. The air was cool, and soft music played from a nearby tree speaker. She stared at the stars again. A soft voice spoke behind her. You were brave today, she turned. Counselor Mira stood there. Kira smiled sadly. I just wish I knew if he heard me. Mira sat. Beside her, sometimes we don't hear people for a long time. But it doesn't mean they stop speaking. Kira nodded. I still believe in him. Then keep believing, Mira said. Because belief is what moves stars. That night, Kira sent a message through an old private Earth channel. She didn't know if it would reach Jace. The words were simple. I spoke for you today. I believe in what you did. I miss you. I hope you're safe. She closed her eyes and whispered, Please hear me. And far away, beyond the edge of known. Space! A human technician looked at a flickering signal and smiled. Jace had never stopped listening. In a small station orbiting a quiet moon, a girl named Reyna worked alone. She was part of a forgotten science outpost run by Earth, long removed from the busy galaxy. The station, called Harmony Point, once served as a research hub, but now it was mostly silent, just Reyna and the stars. She used to love the quiet. It helped her think, but not anymore. She missed her best friend. QAThe had trained together on Earth, built models of solar fields, and dreamed of working side by side. But then, Luca had been chosen for a special mission, to join a science ship helping colonies near the galactic rim. He left with hope in his heart, promising to keep in touch. At first he did. Messages came often, short but full of joy. But then the Concorde restrictions tightened. Earth's signals were slowed, blocked, ignored. Luca's voice disappeared into silence. Reyna sent message after message, but the only reply was the empty static of space. She kept working, kept fixing the station's systems, but her mind always drifted back to Luca. Was he safe? Did he still remember her? Or had the stars taken him away? One evening, she sat on the top deck of the station, watching the galaxy turn slowly. The stars blinked above her, cold and silent. She held a small music box Luca had given her. It no longer played. The string was broken, just like their connection. Then, something happened. The sky changed. A formation of lights appeared. Not random. It's not natural. Satellites. Dozens of them, moving in perfect sync across the stars. They formed a wide circle, then a glowing pattern. A tree inside a circle. It's the symbol of Earth. Raina stood, her heart pounding. Suddenly, every screen on the station came alive. A message played, sent through the satellite network. Not a warning. Not a call for power. A story. She watched in silence as the screen showed peaceful images. A human helping a child on a cold mining world. Engineers fixing a broken dome on an alien moon. A teacher from Earth showing alien students how to read. A human nurse delivering food to a sick colony. The voice in the background was calm. We are from Earth. We are not here to rule. We are here to remind you that kindness does not need permission. Humanity remembers. And we believe in helping, even in silence. Raina felt her eyes burn with emotion. Then the voice changed. It was Luca. If you're seeing this, it means our message reached you. I haven't forgotten. I couldn't. Earth is still trying, even if no one listens. We haven't stopped caring. I haven't stopped thinking about you. Stay strong. I'll find a way back. Raina covered her mouth with her hands. The voice was real, alive. He hadn't forgotten. She ran to the signal room and replayed the message again and again. It had come through a private satellite system launched by volunteers. Humans from across the galaxy had sent it. No governments, no councils. Just people who still believed in connection. That night, she fixed the broken music box. She sat by the window, wound the string, listened to the soft tune it played. A message had crossed the stars, not with threats, but with love. And she no longer felt alone. The next day, Raina sent out a signal of her own. A small beam directed toward the same satellite path. Her message was simple. I saw your message. I believe too. I'm still here. Far across space, Lucas stood inside a cargo bay, helping repair a damaged oxygen system on a colony ship. A signal light blinked on his wristband. He tapped it, read the message, and smiled. I found her. He whispered, and the stars, for a moment, felt warm again. Asterisk and the ocean world of Sorella. A young alien named Tanari sat on the edge of a floating platform, watching the waves crash below. He held a seashell to his chest, not just any shell, but one given to him by a human friend long ago. Her name was Naomi. She had come to Sorella 5 years ago, as part of a science team from Earth. At first, Tanari didn't trust her. Had warned them. Earth was unpredictable. But Naomi never shouted. She never demanded. She just helped. She repaired broken machines, taught local children how to read, and laughed when Tanari showed her how to ride the waves. They became friends. True friends. But one day the Concord forced all human aid teams to leave Sorella. Naomi had to go. There were no goodbyes, only rushed departures. Since then, Tanari had sent messages every cycle. No replies came back. He felt like a part of... His heart had drifted away into the sea. The elders said Earth was too loud, too dangerous. But Tanari had seen something different. Naomi had never tried to change them. She had only listened. He missed that. He missed her now. Every evening, he sat by the sea, whispering the same words. I hope you're out there. I still remember you. One morning, something unusual happened. A ship appeared on the horizon. Not a military ship. A small research vessel, unmarked except for a soft blue light on its side. It floated slowly toward the platform. Tanari stood up, his heart racing. People gathered. They didn't know what to expect. When the ship opened, a group of humans stepped out, smiling and waving. They wore white jackets with Earth symbols, not government workers, but volunteers. One of them stepped forward. She wasn't Naomi, but she looked kind. "We are from the Harmony Accord," she said. "We're here because Earth hasn't forgotten you," the crowd gasped. The Concord had tried to silence these visitors, but they were here anyway, not to take, but to give. Tanari pushed through the group. "Did Naomi send you?" The woman nodded. "She's safe. She sent this." She handed Tanari a small Olo-disc. He rushed to his room and placed it in the viewer. Naomi's face appeared older, but still smiling. "Tanari," she said, "if this reaches you, I want you to know I never stopped thinking about Sorella. About you. I joined the Harmony Accord so I could help without rules stopping me. I hope to return. Until then, don't give up hope. You taught me the ocean is strong, even when it's silent." Tears filled Tanari's eyes. The voice he had missed was back. He walked out and told the people what he had seen. Some didn't believe. Others cried quietly. Slowly a feeling began to grow. Maybe Earth's kindness hadn't disappeared. Maybe it had only been waiting for the right moment to return soon. More ships from the Harmony Accord arrived, not just from Earth, but from other small worlds that believed in peace, fairness, and unity. Together, they started helping forgotten planets. No weapons, no leaders, just people who cared. It wasn't loud, wasn't fast, but it was real. Tanari joined the visitors. He helped them repair old wind towers and shared stories of the sea. And every day, he wore Naomi's seashell around his neck, a sign that hope was stronger than distance. Far away. On a quiet station near the Harmony Accord's core, Naomi watched the latest reports. She saw a picture of Tanari smiling beside the repaired water filters. She touched the screen gently. "I told you the sea remembers," she whispered. On the peaceful moon of Viridia, a historian named Theo sat in a quiet library, looking at a dusty journal on his desk. The room was filled with ancient records from across the galaxy. Most of them were about empires, battles, and treaties. Theo wasn't interested in those today. Today, he missed his mother. She was once a respected diplomat from Earth. She had left Viridia many years ago to join a peace mission beyond the Concord borders. At first, she sent messages to Theo every week. She told him stories about helping refugee colonies and teaching alien children how to build schools. But after a while, the messages stopped. Theo was still a teenager when that silence began. Had grown up with questions in his heart. Why did she leave? Was she still alive? Had she forgotten him? No one had answers. Concord said her team was too far away. Earth's channels were blocked. Theo was told to move on. So he became a historian, someone who searched for answers in old records. Even if he couldn't find them in his own life, he read about Earth's past, its hardships, its beauty, and its quiet strength. He read how humans kept going, even when they were alone. That gave him comfort. Still, he wished for one more message. Just one. One day, as he worked late in the library, a young alien student rushed in, holding a small box. "Theo, the Harmony Accord just sent this to our archive. It's for you." Theo opened the box carefully. Inside was a glowing data crystal and a note, found in the Viridian cluster, recovered from a human relief station. Hands shaking, Theo placed the crystal into the reader. The screen blinked. Then her face appeared. His mother, older, tired, but smiling. "My dear Theo," she began, "if you're seeing this, it means someone found the message I left for you. I never stopped thinking about you. The stars between us were wide, but they never took you from my heart." She paused and looked away for a second, holding something in her hand, a photo of him as a boy. "I didn't return because we were needed here. These people had no one else. We taught, we healed, and we planted seeds of peace. I wish I could have come back. But I hope you've grown strong." Tears filled Theo's eyes. She hadn't forgotten. She had been doing what she believed in, what humanity believed in. She continued, "If you still believe in kindness, in helping without asking for anything in return, then you carry the spirit of Earth, and I am proud." The screen faded to black. Theo sat in silence for a long time. Then, something inside him changed. The sadness didn't disappear, but it became something else. Hope. The next day, Theo stood before the Council of Records. "I would like to submit a new archive," he said. They nodded. "What is it about?" He smiled gently. "A lesson we forgot. A reminder of what humanity truly is." He uploaded his mother's message, along with new records about the Harmony Accord. The small acts of kindness spreading across the stars, and the quiet people making a difference, not through power, but through heart. Soon other scholars joined him. People from many worlds came to listen. They didn't speak of war or warnings. They spoke of gardeners, teachers, helpers, and dreamers. Theo's story spread. It reminded the galaxy that the warning about Earth had never been about fear. It had been about never underestimating kindness. Because once humans cared about you, they didn't stop. And somewhere, far from Viridia, a woman looked up at the stars and whispered, "I hope he remembers me." And the stars seemed to whisper back, "He never stopped." Asterisk. On a quiet farming moon called Terra Nova, a young woman named Myra stood in the middle of a golden field. The sun was setting, painting the sky with soft pink and orange colors. She held a small letter in her hand. It was worn and creased, but she had read it many times. The letter was from her brother, Kale. Kale had left years ago to join the Earth Peace Corps, a group that traveled to help struggling colonies and build friendships between worlds. It promised to send news, but the last letter Mira received was from a long time ago. Since then, the silence had grown heavy in her heart. Mira missed him every day. She looked at the stars and whispered, "Kale, I hope you're safe. I hope you still remember me." But the distance between them felt like a wall she could not climb. One morning, as Mira worked in the fields, a small ship landed nearby. It was simple and quiet, with no weapons, only the symbol of Earth shining softly on its side. From the ship stepped a group of people. They wore bright smiles and open hearts. Among them was Kale. Mira's breath caught. She ran to him, her feet carrying years of hope and sadness. When they reached each other, Kale embraced her gently. "I never forgot you," he said softly. "I thought of you every day." Mira smiled through tears. "I thought I lost you." Kale shook his head. "No. The galaxy made it hard to stay close. But Earth never stopped trying." He explained how the Peace Corps had faced many challenges. The Concord had limited their missions and cut communication, but they refused to give up. People from Earth and many other worlds formed the Harmony Accord, a group dedicated to helping others without war or control. "We went to the forgotten places," Kale said. "Built schools, repaired cities, and shared hope." Slowly, the galaxy began to listen. Myra looked around at the golden fields, feeling the gentle breeze. "I see it now. Earth's strength isn't in power. It's in caring." Kale nodded. "We learned that long ago. The universe warned them not to provoke humanity, but they didn't understand. It wasn't a threat. It was a lesson." Together, they walked through the fields. Children from nearby villages ran to greet them. Aliens and humans played and worked side by side. The galaxy was changing. Mira felt the distance between her and Kale melt away, replaced by something bigger, a new family, a new hope. As night fell, they stood under the stars. The moon shone bright, and the universe felt alive. Kale looked up and said, "The stars gave us a warning." But humanity answered with grace. Myra smiled. "We will keep answering." Together, the universe was no longer silent. It was singing a new song, one of kindness, unity, and hope. And on Terra Nova, a new dawn had truly begun.